Every work here draws upon an aspect of society and completely interpolates and reinvents it so that it becomes something. And the idea is really about how history and memory are processed, and about aspects which endure from the past and aspects which are lost. Words.
And who is this artist?
This is Shauna McMullen. She's a Scottish artist. She's never shown in New York before.
Excuse me.
This is her first show in the States.
So these are old newspapers?
Yeah, they're Glasgow newspapers. And she cuts out every single word and image. She also did the other piece over here, the map piece. These are all taken from road maps. She cuts out the road maps and separates them from the maps so they're no longer useful for information, and also kind of denying the two-dimensionality of what a map is or what a newspaper is by creating these three different.
Like a plant.
The thing that I found when I finally hung the show was that the destructive element is totally overridden by the kind of quiet formality of what it becomes. Behind me, Tim Lown, he instances where corporations have tried to sue artists for using their work.
Interesting here how the letters become like a fluid form or character.
Well, that's also part of it. By doing it this way, then you're able to sort of see the compositional element of what the logo initially was about this piece. Is that on the one hand it's cute because you have this image of this little kitten playing, but on the other hand it's disturbing. And then when you find out about what it is, it's based on a sort of cruel perception test that was performed on cats.
In here, the coin, I'm still blown away by this.
Yeah, this is Cornelia Parker. She's actually a very well-known English artist. She's probably the one person in the show who really takes one thing and creates something that's completely different, where the vestige of the original isn't even recognizable. And she did this whole series of having different items extruded to this kind of lace metal form. She did a wedding ring drawn out to the circumference of a living room in this piece, Measuring Liberty with a Dollar, where she took a silver dollar, and had it, attenuated to the length of the Statue of Liberty.
And how does she do that? What does she use to do that?
She uses a lot of machines in her work. She's used steam rollers and trains, and has objects run over by the train and steamrolled and stuff like that. Vic Muniz, probably one of the most well-known artists that's around right now.
Right.
You have the original and also fine art.
Whereas this was a documentary work of art that turned into a work of art that he's reinventing into a new work of art and using, what is this, ink or syrup?
It's ink, yeah, but it's a photograph of ink. It's not even ink. It's a photograph of ink, which is made to look like a halftone, which is how newspapers are reproduced. So it's not even done in an imagistic way. It's done in a mechanical way. Gray string. So in this case, taking this really banal, kind of uninteresting material and creating this very vivacious and beautiful environment from it. Very picturesque.
It's beautiful, yeah.
Where she has a visual language, but then it's kind of feeding itself because it continues to grow and to change.
And then you get closer.
Letraset, which is press on letters, which I think is also, again, a sort of mechanical medium, and then isolates the punctuation marks and creates these drawings. This one is James Joyce's Finnegan's Wake.
And what is distinguishing one from the other except just the title?
Well, if you look at them, it's actually the punctuation marks from those particular books.
Oh, that's right.
So it becomes a new way of reading the text. It becomes a new text in itself.
So you can tell who uses a lot of exclamation points.
And this is Shakespeare's sonnets. There's all these question marks.
This one's covered.
Yeah. Aspects of contemporary society, and what he's done is he takes this industrial line marker and he goes out into the street and he creates these really, interesting drawings. And, here there's a person walking by, like, no one even notices, no one even thinks to question, what is this person doing, even though...
They should.
I know. No one has ever stopped him.
Yeah.
And so he looks like...
He knows what he's doing. He has a purpose.
There's a performative aspect to it, but it's a subversive performative aspect to it.
Is that real paint, though?
Yeah, it's enamel paint like that they use to make lines on the street.
So does it stay there?
Yeah, it does. It begins to have a life of its own. This other piece, this is called Temple. There's no nails. Everything is done with wood.
Like the Japanese do, right?
Yeah, it's done really, really beautifully. And they're all out of these beautiful, precious woods. So he's taking something that, again, is this very industrial, banal material object and creating a new form so it can be viewed aesthetically as well. Because the shape itself, it's a utilitarian shape.
A couple sentences of how you defined Remnant in assembling this project.
Well, what really inspired me about the show was artists who are quoting or drawing from an existing vocabulary, that are creating something new out of that vocabulary.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
I think, again, I've been to the show 3 times, so I'm so glad to catch you.
Yeah.